everyone, I'm here with a bit of an unboxing video. This is something I was not expecting to do because I had pre-ordered this deck and I got a note from Amazon basically saying that it had been released, but because of the whole crisis, and if you're watching this in the future, it's April of 2020, so we're going through the whole COVID-19 crisis and we're all in lockdown, that, you know, it wasn't a priority, and therefore, you know, it wasn't like medical equipment or, you know, food or something that's like high priority. So it was, they weren't sure when they'd be able to get it to me, which I was totally fine with, because it's like, yes, tarot decks are nice, but totally not necessities. I don't need it. And I just kind of forgot about it because I'm like, well, it'll show up when it shows up. And if it doesn't show up until this is all over, I was like totally fine with that. But it came today, and so I was very excited about it. I've taken out of the box, taken off the plastic, and I actually filmed an unboxing, but I'll tell you in a moment why I had to refilm this. So this is kind of like, it's my first impressions, we'll say, video. So this is the Occult Tarot by Travis McHenry and by Rockpool Publishing. I believe this started as an independent deck. It started, I think, as the Demon Possessed Tarot on Kickstarter, and I even took a look at it when it was on Kickstarter, but decided not to back it because I'd never backed Kickstarter before and I was a little nervous about it. But I'm glad to see that Rockpool has picked it up. So first of all, let's admire this box, this amazing, beautiful box. It's like very velvety, that kind of velvety matte feel. I love this red iridescent. I love the design here. I love that the sides have that beautiful red iridescent. So it's a beautiful box. That's the back. I believe the original ones, they were on more of like a yellow, kind of sepia type, looking like tea stain kind of background rather than white, but from what I recall. But I'm glad to see a publisher picked it up. I'd love to see some indents on the side, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so we've got the red box in there, red inside. So nice packaging. We've got our book here that has that same sort of lovely velvety matte feel, which I quite like. It's not a huge book. It's about 100 pages, but still, you know, gives you some information. The pages are all, they're black. Like, the packaging is really, really well done. You've got your intro. It's all this, it's glossy. You've got this, you know, kind of like beautiful artwork going on. It's in color. So it gives you some information about where it comes from. So it gives you preparations, how to summon, using the occult tarot, questioning them. So it gives you a Celtic cross spread there, and gives you the occult tarot meanings. And so he took the 72 demons from the Goetia, which is a book from, I believe it's the 1700s, and it's from the Lesser Key of Solomon. And it has a list of like 72 demons. And then he added 6 more to make 78 for the tarot. So important to understand that back in those days, people were obsessed with like categorizing and cataloging things, because think about, like, people were discovering, Europeans, I shouldn't say people, Europeans were busy going around the world discovering things, and in medieval times, and into like, you know, the Renaissance and all that kind of stuff. So they were categorizing things. And especially when you got to kind of like the 16 and 1700s, people were starting to categorize like birds and all sorts of stuff. Well, also people were doing things like categorizing angels. They were making all these angel names and categorizing them. Well, of course, you know, they were like, well, we got to categorize demons as well. So a lot of these are from like their old nature spirits or their old gods that they've literally demonized. They've written them down in a text as demons, and categorizing them and categorizing what their powers are. So, you know, I don't want people to be like afraid of this kind of stuff, because if you understand the historical context, you kind of understand that they're kind of made up anyway. So it's all good. But if this stuff does scare you, then stay away from it. you know, don't do anything or work with anything you're not comfortable with. And there's nothing wrong with learning about this stuff. Just learning about it doesn't mean that you're calling on these beings or anything like that. So if you're worried about that kind of stuff, don't. The other thing too to remember is, if you do believe in this kind of stuff, is that all of these cards have what's like the seal. There's like, if you look at the Lesser Key of Solomon, all of these demons have keys, these symbols to keep you safe from them, so to speak. So the symbols are right on the cards, so you're safe. You're safe from them. So he has here on the deck, I'll show you the deck, of course, because that's what you're here for. First of all, let's admire the beauty of the box, the red and the black. Very nice sort of aesthetic, so to speak, and the black ribbon, very, very nice. The back matches as well. I do have to say I'm not a fan of sort of this matte finish. I find that the cards really sort of stick together in some way, like they're hard to shuffle and hard to get apart. I'm not a fan. I know everyone's like all about matte finish right now. I don't like matte finish. I'll just say it out loud. I don't like matte finish as a tarot card reader. I really love, I don't care for super, you know, slick glossy either, but I want some because it helps you move the cards around. It makes them easier to shuffle. This is kind of hard to take apart because when I originally filmed this, I was like really confused because the cards were, from a tarot perspective, are completely out of order. But what they are, they're in the order that they come in the Goetia, like they're in the order of the demons, so to speak. So I went and tried to put them all in order, and I found like the mat actually made these cards really hard to sort through. I don't know if anyone else finds that. Cardstock wise, the cardstock's pretty good. It's a little, maybe a teensy bit thicker than Llewellyn stock. It's not super thick, but it's not super thin either, so you probably like that. It's like a sort of your standard tarot card size, and the fronts are all, they're all like this. They're all sort of this black and white. Some of them have a little bit of red on them or brown, but that's the Fool there. All of these images, most of them are taken from, I believe what's called the Dictionary Infernal, which was a 18th century book. I believe it's early 1800s maybe. That is French, and so most of these illustrations are taken from that. Now, as for using this as a tarot deck, I don't recommend it. I was looking through this and I find that the meanings and the beings don't always quite match up. I think they, you know, try to match them up, but I wouldn't read for this as a tarot deck. Like, for example, the Fool here, cameo, gives understanding of animals and the voice of the waters, answers of things to come. So it tells you what he does, but that doesn't really relate to the Fool. One that kind of does, we have here DANTALION. Teaches art and science, knows the secret thoughts of all and can change them, causes loves, shows vision of the world. So you can see that she's kind of associated with intuition. So that one makes sense. The Empress, we have Gremory. Procures the love of a woman of any age, tells where treasures are hidden, tells of the past, present, and the future. So I think what I'm going to use this deck for, just going to show you some more, is more of a reference deck. And I think more, if I'm going to use it at all, is, besides reference, is to use it as an oracle deck. The same way that I do with the what is it? The Oracle of the Fallen Angels Oracle, because the Fallen Angels Oracle has the same 72 beings as are in this, because they come from the same source. So I was thinking of doing a series where I compare the two cards and their meaning and talk a little bit about where each of these beings sort of comes from and what the ideas behind them. There's some that are in red, like Lucifer. Let's see. I want to find too some that are kind of strange and weird. I wish there's one a friend of mine was telling me about. There's different lists of demons. This is just the most famous one. And there was one where it was a demon. He was like he had a body and then his head was a book, and he sits by a river and reads himself. And I thought, oh, that's really funny. That's really cute. Oh, look at HALPHAS. Builds towers and provides weapons and ammunition. Sends soldiers to appointed places. He looks kind of kind of quirky there. I'm looking for, there's one that's a unicorn that plays music and makes trees sway. I don't know why that's evil, but apparently. It's important to remember with these as well the time that these were sort of made up in, because at the time there were facets of the medieval church that was against science and learning. It was seen as evil. It was seen as bad. There's still facets of some sort of extreme religious groups today that believe that science is bad and evil, and you see, unfortunately, some of that trickling down into, I'm sure you've seen on the news, people are like, I don't believe in science, I believe in God. Well, you can believe in both. It's not mutually exclusive, but some people seem to think it is, which is really weird. Oh, this one's interesting. He's got a sword and his belt, this bird, very cool. He builds houses and towers, destroys enemies' thoughts and desires, and all they've built. Gives good familiars. Oh, I suppose that's handy if one is in the market for that. Let's see. I'm looking for the unicorn, but I am not coming across him yet. I'll post him maybe in Instagram. Oh, look, there's like a puppy with wings. Oh, that's cute. Some like weird looking ones. To me, this is more of like a curiosity. I wouldn't recommend this deck if you are wanting to use it as a tarot deck. I would use it more as an oracle deck, or if you're interested in sort of like medieval and Renaissance and Reformation type thought about these kind of things. I think it's interested, or you're interested in demonology, that kind of thing. But I don't think I would be like using this in the reading with clients. And like I was saying, if you are somebody that this stuff, kind of scares, you're not interested and you're afraid of it, then definitely, don't, the deck's not for you. But, just remember that just because there's a picture here doesn't mean anything. It's kind of like I'm afraid of spiders, but I'm not afraid of pictures of spiders, Also, when we put names on things, then we're less afraid of them. Names give us power, right? Words give us power. So I've not come across my favorite one, the unicorn, yet. That makes music and tree sway. There's another one in here too I found that has been referenced in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which I think is interesting. Oh, there's a leopard in here. Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, let me know if you're interested in me doing kind of like a comparison where I talk about the different ones, if you're interested at all. Oh, there's like a strange winged deer man thing. Oh, here he is. Here's Stolas. Look at Stolas. Isn't he cute? He's from, I know somebody was telling me that Sabrina's Teenage Witch refers to Stolas. What does he do? Teaches astronomy and values of herbs and precious stones. Oh, he's like a wise owl. So good. All right. I still haven't come across my unicorn. Where is my unicorn? I'm going through. Is here? No, that's a horse-headed one. Not quite what I'm looking for. Unless they don't have him here. And no, that's another horse one. Maybe they don't have him. There he is. There he is. Amdusius causes any manner of music to be played, causes trees to bend at will, brings excellent familiars. A lot of them bring excellent familiars. There he is. Musical unicorn. Very cool. Yeah, so that is... Oh, this one's really weird looking. Look at that. Very weird. All right, so that is the Occult Tarot. I think, like I said, it's interesting that he makes tarot correlations, but I don't necessarily think that, I guess you could use it as tarot deck, but I'm not going to use it that way. I'm probably going to use it more like like I said, the Fallen Angels Oracle, and as a reference type deck from a historical type point of view. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Is it on your list? Are you like, no way, I would not work with that? Let me know what you think. Yeah, thanks for watching. And if you're interested in, I'm also going to be doing a series on my Patreon about tarot reversals starting in May. So if you're interested in that, you can come check it out. Otherwise, thank you so, so much, especially to my patrons and especially to Nathan, Jamie, and Marie. I appreciate all your support, especially at this time. Stay safe, stay well, peace and love. And